Hey all, it's Rafi, and in today's game we have d4, knight f6, c4, d5, which is sort of Grunfeld-ish, but not really. Grunfeld usually happens after g6, then black plays this d5 move, but this is another opening, and I don't know what it's called exactly, but I've seen it before. So here, queen takes is an option, which is what he plays. Now I'll play knight c3, attacking the queen, followed by a quick e4 possibly. So he plays queen to a5. Now I will play bishop d2. Again, I want to play e4 right away and totally take over the center. Maybe he'll play c6. And here I could play knight e4 as a possibility. Better yet, I will just push the pawn to e4 and really have a good center. And it's still unclear exactly what did black accomplish with all these queen moves. Queen from d8 to d5 to now a5, and it will have to move again to c7 or something like that. So I'm really not not the biggest fan of playing like this. I just feel like black doesn't really get a whole lot from this. So here f3, I think, is how I'm gonna proceed. So again, lots of different options. Knight d5 is always something to consider. But I think simple moves like bishop c4 will be more than sufficient here. But I do have to be careful because there is this b5. If bishop b3, then b4. And if the knight moves, then there's always a possibility of knight takes e4 type of stuff. So I have to be careful. I'm thinking that here I could play knight to h3. And then the knight has a possibility of going to f4 or maybe even to f2. So now here I could just go ahead and grab the bishop pair with knight f4. I think I'm going to put the bishop on d3 just to be safe and stop any sort of knight takes e4 business at any point. I feel like he's going to castle on the queen side here. I'll go ahead and castle kingside. Zirian. 2181 blitz and 2200 in rapid. That's a pretty strong player. Definitely a very strong player. So after a3, if bishop takes, then bishop takes should be good for us. So I'll go ahead and play a3. If he decides to take that, then I will just grab the bishop pair for sure. No problems there. There's also the possibility of taking with the b pawn and going after b7 is an idea, but I think b7 is sufficiently defended, so I'm going to go and take this instead. So here I feel like b4 makes a lot of sense, just grabbing space and stopping c5. So I will do that. Excuse me. So now I really want to play knight f4 and grab the other bishop as well. So if queen d2, rook d8, knight f4, something like e5 or something maybe will happen. I don't know. Maybe even c5 will happen. If I play queen to c1, maybe he'll play e5 in that position. I don't know. Either way, I want to get hold of f4 square somehow here. I think queen d2 is the most principled move here, so I'm going to go ahead and play that. The idea here is to quickly play knight f4 and just grab that other bishop and have the two bishops advantage in the game. And then if the position were to open up, then I would have lots of advantages with the two bishops, hopefully. The position is not very easy for him to play at all because there's no breaks. Maybe I should have played f4, honestly. Well, I could not have played f4 because the queen would be hanging in that position. think queen b2 now makes some sense. Just putting pressure on e5 and lining up the queen and the bishop on that long diagonal for some sort of, attack of some type. e5 was really his main break here, so he had to pretty much play that. Let's go ahead and put the rook. Line up the rook with the queen. Let's get this bishop off of this. Where do we want the bishop actually? c4? Let's put it on b1 and then put it on a2 after that. Excuse me. So if rook d1, there is always the idea, that the rook on d1 would be in line in the same diagonal as white's black's light square bishop. So that's something that I have to think about. But I think still rook d1 is probably the way to go here. Putting the rook on an active file can't be too bad of a thing. So now let's get our rook here. I think knight on f2 is going to do a good job for us here in this position. Rook takes. I think bishop takes. So now his pieces are kind of paralyzed. He can't move the knight on f6 because g7 hangs. He can't move the knight on d7 because the f6 knight hangs. He's got some problems here for sure. c6 is a weakness that I can attack now. For example, next move, I can even consider queen to c3, piling up on that c6 pawn. So right away, I think I can play this now. Yep. That's what he has to do here. But it's kind of difficult for me now to find a constructive plan here. It's a little difficult. Let's go ahead and move this rook out of the way of the bishop first of all. Now I might play rook c2 next. I do have to play a little bit faster. She's got a significant amount of time on me right now, which does not make me very happy. So I'm imagining if rook c2 happens, then he will play rook to e6. I feel like at some point I had a way to trap the bishop on h5, honestly. I think I could have played g4. No, I don't think I could have. Never mind. Piling up on c6. I think rook c6, rook e6 has to happen now, I guess. Maybe then I'll play knight d3 and knight c5. Knight d3 and knight... Hmm. So knight c5 would be one idea at this point. Instead, I'm going to play g3, actually. And I'll play here. Maybe now here. Pinning the rook. Take this. this. Then I will try to go here. It's possible I could just let the knight sit on c4 and just pile up on the d file. That's one idea. For example, rook c1, rook d1, then play queen d3. And then maybe play bishop a2 and something like that. The other idea is to sacrifice, on c4, of course. Bishop takes c4, knight takes, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. And try to go after c6 and a6 pawns. That's one other idea as well. But maybe we don't even have to do that. We can just play this position out by just, trading the pieces off slowly. That was a nice move. I have to make a move. Now he's going to take on a3. I take on d6. Don't know what happens in this sequence. Oh gosh, knight d. Schmuck. Just ruins it. Man. Just like that, I'm lost. Oh, knight f2. Gosh. This game is such an unfortunate loss. Yeah, that's awful. Real bad. Really, really bad. Just instantly lost. I'm just gonna play a check here. Man, tough loss. I've lost 3 games in a row so far. It's ridiculous. Like, this game definitely felt like I was winning completely from the very beginning, and then suddenly things just fell apart after just out of nowhere. That's just crazy. All this is fine. Got a great position, great everything. Opening went perfect for me, I think. What's wrong with f3? f3 is a top move from the computer. Huge advantage. What's wrong with knight h3? It sounds like a good move to me. I don't know why there's question marks behind these kind of moves. So all this is pretty standard stuff. I mean, I think I've played all the right moves in the beginning, in the opening phase of the game. So after bishop b4, a3, takes, now I have the bishop pair, and I have a huge center, and black doesn't have anything to really show for that. Now I stop the c5 break with the b4. He castles, queen d2, e5. He had to play that, or else knight f4 just picks up the other bishop as well. So now queen b2, just putting pressure on that diagonal. Rook c1, bishop b1, rook d1, b5, real bad move because it makes c6 a permanent weakness now. After this, what's wrong with just this? Rook d8, rook d8. Oh, I see. So this, there is no knight takes. I have this, and I'm gonna win the knight. So that's interesting. I didn't see that. Rook d2. Rook c2. Now knight d3, heading for c5. So here I played knight pawn to g3, threatening to play the knight f4 idea. Knight f4, bishop e5, still correct. Now he gets this monster knight to c4, which was really annoying, but didn't seem like it was the end of the world with that knight there, though. Takes. Now all I had to do was just double up on the file here. So then he plays queen b6, which was a really nice move. Really, really nice move. And here all I had to do was just not come under a check with knight e3, basically. So king g2 is a horrible move, I think. I don't know. Just felt like it was just not the best square for the king. Then here, b takes, queen takes. So now he's threatening knight e3 check, basically. And any move would have just been fine here, except I had 12 seconds and I missed the check. Played this and instantly lost. From +5 to -7. He had queen h5 made here even. So obviously completely lost at this point. Very difficult loss. Just very annoying loss. 3 losses now back to back. Last 3 games I played, I lost. Hopefully this will come to an end at some point soon. And yeah, this game is just, I I guess the biggest takeaway from this game is time management. Like, I think the position was just fine and winning, but just low on time and couldn't convert. Hopefully you guys got something out of it as well, and I'll catch you in my next video.